Hello, everybody. So, I know a lot of you have already heard that today, July 17th of 2025, is the first day of Mercury retrograde, and it happens 3 times a year. But I would recommend you do your own research on that. I want to just keep it short as an introduction because this will relate to the rest of the video. So, real quick, we're just going to go over what Mercury retrograde is and what I do to survive this time in a very less chaotic way. Okay? So Mercury retrograde will basically like mess with your communication and electronics and things like that. Um, don't make any large purchases. Don't sign any contracts. And I would just say keep your routine very normal and don't do anything big at the moment. I wouldn't plan anything super big right now. Um, Also, it's a really good time to reflect on your progress. It's a really good time to look back on how far you've come and everything that you've built and all of the things that you had to go through. So, we'll use that to make some more videos today, right now, and more later during this month. We'll be going over some of my own experiences to train everybody on how to navigate their spiritual and physical experiences in the best possible way. So, what I like to use during Mercury retrograde, this isn't my own work. I just Googled it real quick. I looked up a few different pages, a few different articles on Mercury retrograde. During the waning moon cycle, I'll use like a dark blue candle and like lots of lavender, citrus, and mint. And during the waxing moon phase, I'll use like yellow and white candles, and then I'll still use the lavender, citrus, and mint in like teas, food, and like air fresheners or like essential oils. I use essential oil air freshener. It's like natural, or like scented candles and things of that nature. So that will help you navigate this time. Okay, so as for looking back at our progress, okay, I got a few things that I want to talk about regarding my progress. So, in approximately 3 months, I will be vegan for 2 whole years, okay? And it's definitely been a process, but I will say that I do feel a lot better. I've settled in really good to my veganism and it actually feels really amazing. I know everyone gets freaked out and thinks it's dangerous and things like that, but I've learned my veganism from Embodiment Celestial, and I could go over it again if anybody wanted to know exactly how I manage my veganism. I've gotten to the point where I don't really need a checklist. I just memorized everything off the top of my head and I'm not really having any problems with it. And in fact, I've been pushing my physical limits a lot. I have a really, really physical job where I do like housekeeping and stuff. So I just go into places and I clean them. And I can do a lot of that without a lot of breaks. Depending on the moon cycle, depending on my menstrual cycle as well, I can definitely get a lot done in a short amount of time without any type of breaks. Sometimes I can go without like food, and the money is really good. The money that comes from that is really good, and that's the thing that will help you heal your finances. So if you're a person in a really bad financial situation, that is going to be your ticket out. Okay? Um and I just posted another video today about your real intuition, having a real chakra system, using your psychic messages correctly and things like that. So that's also going to be the thing that heals your finances. is that your ancestors, angels, spirit guides, higher dimensional beings, they will tell you with like a lot of meditation, they will tell you and they will lead you down a path where you can get opportunities to make a lot of money, and they will put you in a certain frequency. If you know what you're doing, I will continuously train people on how to do this over time and things like that. So subscribe to my channel if you want to know, or you should know, because I mean, we all got to take care. We all got to take care of business, okay? So, yeah, I'm reflecting back on my financial hardship because, you know, I've done a lot of research, and my spirit is very ancient, and my spirit is very like I guess you could say I have like an old soul or something like that, or my spirit is very advanced compared to maybe a lot of people. And when you have a very advanced spirit, you will grow up in very, very harsh conditions, which I did, and that has ruined my financial future. And so I did a lot of practicing and a lot of spiritual work in order to help improve my finances, which I did get to a place finally where I'm actually okay and I can actually take care of myself. There was a lot of hard work and it was incredibly painful. But yeah, I hope that helps someone out there. I hope I can help train people in order to get themselves out of really bad situations. Okay? There is always a way out. There's always a way. Which is like super important. Yeah, so on to back to my veganism. You know, I'm not. If you have a deficiency with your veganism, at this point, I'm 2 years into my veganism, and if anything was wrong with what I was doing, I wouldn't be here talking right now. And I definitely would not be cleaning. I would not be doing physical exercise every day, okay? If you had a deficiency, you would probably be in bed, too tired. You probably wouldn't be at work too much. And I do not take any supplements. I don't take anything that's made in a lab. It has to be like natural. Or if it's like a natural herb that's powdered into like a pill or something, you can take that. But I never take anything that's synthetic, okay? That's really bad because the molecular structure is different than in nature, so it binds differently to the body, and you don't really want that. Because your body is cellular and things like that. So yeah, I actually do feel a lot better than I was before. There was an adjustment period where, yeah, at the beginning it does feel really funny and you feel like something bad is going to happen. Like, am I doing this correctly? I'm freaking out. Like, am I going to, unalive randomly one day? Am I going to pass out while I'm at work? You don't know. And it can be really freaky. But if you, really pay attention to Embodiment Celestial, and if you write your notes and stuff, you will, figure out that if you're doing everything correctly, if you followed instructions, one of these days you're going to wake up and be like, hey, wait a minute, I'm not unalived, and actually I feel really good. I feel really clean. And here's the thing with like veganism, okay? People would argue against veganism and talk about moderation and balance and stuff. Like, oh, everything is in moderation. You can't have two, meaning that they would include meat and cheese in their diet. But that's not exactly how this works, okay? Meat and cheese is really slow and heavy, okay? If you have a completely vegan diet, plant-based, And then you get over the scary part where you think you're going to unalive, and then you wake up and you're like, wait, I'm not unalived. It's been a really long time. I'm not unalived. And I actually feel amazing, and I feel like super clean. So let's think about it like this. So say, for example, you have a plate that was like dirty. You've been eating off this plate and it's like dirty. Now you need to go wash it, right? But for the people who say moderation in order to argue against veganism, they will say moderation. They'll say everything has balance. Okay, so say you take this dirty plate and you wash half of it, and then you leave the other half dirty because you think that's moderation. Does this make sense? Like, is this making any sense for people? If you don't wash the entire plate, then it's not clean. So people who say moderation with meat and cheese included in their diet, they're only washing the plate halfway, meaning the whole plate is not clean. All right? Another thing that I've been reflecting on is, how I've been able to remove bad energy. So not only am I vegan, but I've also taken psychedelics. I've been taking psilocybin, or I have taken, not recently, not recently, but when I was growing up, I took a lot of psychedelics. And I'm reflecting back on how many hardships I had to go through, all because I was not clearing my energy. So we're vegan, we've taken psychedelics, and now we're doing this whole spiritual practice in order to clear the energy, clear out all the bad energy, and bring in all the good energy, right? In order to fix all of the hardships and all of the challenges and all of the pain and trauma that you had to go through, right? Everybody gets the idea, right? So there is this one particular thing that I found really interesting, and I thought I'd share my story on this to give some information. So growing up, I was bullied a lot by my ex-boyfriend and his friends. And, I was pretty innocent. There was no reason for him to be doing this. I had no idea why he was, constantly doing this. I'm like, why would you bully that person? He wouldn't just bully me. He would bully, other people, right? So I'm like, why are you doing this? Turns out he was, completely possessed with, demons or whatever, right? Or he just, operated from such a low consciousness. And, I had no idea what was going on. And so this guy was putting all this bad energy onto me, and I was carrying all of his bad energy, and I didn't understand why I couldn't progress in my life. I was wondering, why is my life so hard? Why are all these bad things happening to me? Because this possessed person was putting bad energy onto me, and I was just carrying it without ever clearing it, which is really important, right? So the thing that was really interesting is that my ex-boyfriend, one of his friends, she was a girl, and their bad energy was really strong. Okay, their bad energy at the time was really, really strong before I knew how to do any of this. So I was completely out of balance. My chakras were blocked. I had no idea what was going on. My life was just horrible, and bad things always happened to me, and I was always in pain. And so one of the reasons why they were really strong, those evil people, they were super strong with all of their bad energy. It was they were really, really powerful. And so over the years of research that I've been doing, I watched this little documentary or interview of a person who used to be a Satan worshiper, a demon worshiper or whatever. And he mentioned in the interview that in order for the demons to give you more support, in order for the demons to increase your ranking with the demons, because like everything's like on a ranking system. I'm not sure like the details, but in order for the demons to give him more power, he would have to unalive something that he loved. Okay? In order for the demons to give a person more power, you have to unalive something that is love. So like a child or a parent or family or a pet, or like a dog or a cat or something that you really love, but you're going to have to unalive it in order for the demons to give you more power, right? And that's why he stopped being a demon worshiper, right? Like a Satanist. And so one of my ex-boyfriend's friends, she was a girl, and she had an abortion. And I was wondering, like, why are they so strong? Like, these people are clearly lying. These people are clearly lying. They're clearly being very immoral. They're doing like really bad things. And I don't know why karma's not hitting them very well. Like, I'm sure the karma will hit. I'm sure the karma will hit. And then I realized over my years of research, I was like, hey, wait a minute. One of his friends had an abortion. She has unalived love. She has unalived an innocent life. I know that not a lot of, probably like they didn't even realize what was happening. I'm just saying this for educational purposes. This is not really like a political view or anything like that. It's just like, for educational purposes, a lot of people don't know what that actually is, like in a spiritual sense. And it's very complicated because I understand that like people have like medical problems and things like that. This is not really like it's complicated. It's complicated. In order to avoid medical complications with pregnancy, you're gonna have to have a really clean diet and like do the spiritual work and like probably be vegan. You can be vegan and pregnant. It's completely good. If you do it correctly, it's good. Don't fast. Don't fast while you're pregnant. But yeah, you can have a vegan pregnancy in order to avoid complications and clear out bad energy and things of that nature. But that's complicated, you know? So I just thought that was like an interesting fact that my ex-boyfriend's friend, who was helping him like harm me, who was helping him bully me and stuff, her negative energy, her bad energy that they were trying to curse me and like, okay, well, a lot of hexes and curses and black magic and negative energy, you don't have to do like a spell. You don't have to have candles. You don't have to have a book. You don't have to use herbs or anything. You don't have to do a ritual, but all you really need to do is like, you can say words. Like words can be a spell. Like you can just do simple word spells without any candles or crazy stuff, and that will be energy. So I was wondering, like, why are they so strong? Like, let's say, for example, I would be Harry Potter in this situation, and that girl who unalived the fetus, she would be as powerful as Voldemort, right? So I'm just like looking back on this, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm the girl who lived. I am the girl who lived against Voldemort. I'm Harriet Potter because I'm a girl, but it really like makes you see things. I don't know. I just thought that was pretty interesting. I kind of wanted to say that. Probably for everybody's safety. If you know somebody like that, she was a really nasty person. Like, she was very fake. You know, she was really, really awful. She was a horrible bully. They were always lying. They didn't really care about the consequences. They didn't think karma was real. That's why they didn't think karma was real. Because she unalived a fetus. She unalived love in order to get a higher rank with the demons in order to give her more power. That's why I'm like, why do these people not care about the consequences of lying? Why do they not care about the consequences of trying to harm innocent people or like bully innocent people? Like, you're gonna get bad karma. So this all makes sense now. All of this makes sense. All of this makes sense. Yeah, so if you know someone like that, be careful. Like, I guess this is for your safety. This is for everybody's safety. If you know somebody like that, like, she was very fake. She was like really nice when she knew that she was being watched by people who could get her in trouble, but in private, she was the nastiest, evilest bully ever, right? But then she pretends that she was nice, and we get the whole story. We've heard the whole story a million times before. But yeah, if you know that this person, I used to feel pretty bad for her too. I was like, oh no, that's really terrible. I'm sorry you had to unalive a fetus. Okay, I'm sorry you had to do that. That could have been really painful. But, she used it to take advantage of other people. She used it in order to get away with like lying and stuff because, yeah. I know this probably won't make a lot of sense to people who don't have chakras, their higher chakras. People who've never done psilocybin, this probably won't make sense to you because you're blind. Like, okay, I'll be honest, you guys are kind of blind. You probably don't know what's going on. But for my people who know, I know there's a lot of people out there who probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm just saying that be safe. Like, yeah, you gotta be really careful. Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. I was like, no way. This person has made a satanic sacrifice, a huge one, and now she has this high ranking with demons, and she can get away with lying if she wants to. In a spiritual way, yeah. She doesn't, like, she could probably avoid karma, probably better than other people, because she made this sacrifice. But they were, like, trying to, use that against me. But I still lived. Like, I still made it out. I made it out pretty well in that. And over time, I've just been demolishing the lies and stuff. Like, I've been, like, breaking through everything. Like, every energetic and frequential blockage that they try to put on me, like, all of the baggage that they try to put onto me, like, all of the burdens that they tried to put on me, I, like, just was constantly breaking through it. And it was, like, so cool because they were powerful, right? Okay, yeah, we get it, okay? I thought that was kind of interesting to share. But I don't have anything else to say. I've been going for a while. So thank you for listening, and I hope you got some good information and education and whatever. And I hope you have a good rest of your forever if you deserve it. I hope you have the life you deserve and whatnot and things like that. Thank you.